Nat is known for getting the outcomes from the learning she provides, so not just ticking a box, but actually getting the business outcomes for the individual, the teams, and essentially at the end, the organization. I'm going to show you how Big Picture works to help Nat achieve that in a very short space of time. So the scenario is she's often in a room with colleagues from different parts of the business. So by giving those colleagues the ability to interact together, not with Nat telling them, but shoulder to shoulder, whether that's digitally or physically, is really important to do. And the question Nat always starts with is around challenge, something that's relevant to each colleague, which might be found to be close to what this learning is about, or actually might be something related to. And that's really important because when you're using Big Picture, always be ready to collect lots of different challenges and opportunities that you can then take away and talk to your boss or other people within the business to resolve. The great thing about Big Picture is if we bring out this drawer, you get access to these different perspectives in the business. So it could be the customer, how this challenge or this learning relates to the customer, what technology does to inhibit or support what it is they want to achieve, what good looks like in terms of measure, the money in, money out, the processes. These are all really important thoughts to have and connections to be made when thinking about this learning. This is when, after which, we get onto the challenges and the opportunities, and this is where we get to the outcomes part. And that's really important. When you're using Big Picture, always remember that it's easier to send thoughts via an inanimate prop or board with symbols rather than pointing over the table to another person. So you're creating that element of safety and that opportunity to share a useful truth that a colleague may not have done previously. And of course, when you've got that board built up using the different symbols, they've expressed how technology works, how money works, and they may have highlighted a few different challenges, and indeed they may have made connections that they haven't previously made. You would then go on and deliver your learning content as you would have done previously, but at the end you're able to then come back to Big Picture and to see what new connections have been made when you've completed the learning. And it might be a session together, or it might be one-to-one, or it might be time between sessions or conversations. This whole approach works because of a science called semiotics, which quite simply is the way we associate meaning to symbols. And everybody does that differently. So we say, why not give them the symbols and the board to play on, and they'll make their own connections. And what that actually does, it means you can sit back. If you're like Nat, she's often sat back watching the room, develop their thinking around the learning that she's providing. And that's really important that it's the colleagues doing it, not you, because if you tell somebody something, it's not necessarily true. And to leave you with a thought, if I just move myself over to the right here, at the top of the screen here, we have the purpose of the organization, the customer running left to right as a yellow line, as is the customer symbol, and then you have the value creation at the center of operations. It's really interesting at the end of a learning activity to think about that triangle and how the learning that you provided in terms of business outcomes impacts the purpose, the customer, and the value that's created. So if you'd like to know more, please ask. That's a little explainer how Nat uses Big Picture tools to land the outcomes that she's renowned for, and hopefully you will be too. Thank you.